The role of the drifter is usually an unspoken one, or at the very least, a lightly spoken one. They can be an integral part of the story or simply a wanderer in it. They seem to be the kind of person that do not wish to involve themselves in a story, but instead likes to seek the story that have already happened or are currently happening. Story Seeker is an indie game that puts you in the shoes, or possibly boots, of a drifter named Weasels, though you would not know that by playing the game, as it is never said. In a game that could only take you 30 minutes, or even 5 if you get bored, an entire world unfolds in front of you. Stories are told by not only the commoners that live in the area, but the landscape itself. The amount you understand of this world relies entirely on how much you want to explore. This open world is not large, at least not in the sense of a AAA title that exists now, but they do something that I really enjoy to make the world feel a lot larger. Every edge of the map just brings you to the other end, almost seamlessly. So you could walk straight, up, down, or backwards for as long as you'd like. The only thing that might stop you is a collider of a tree or a rock. The art style of this game is clearly hand-drawn. The map itself seems to be almost one giant piece of art instead of a typical tile set that most 2D games have. The drawings are simple in nature, hand-drawn by the creator himself. This art style is very unique to indie games, and this art specifically I have yet to see elsewhere. I think more game studios should be braver with the art style, understand that games do not have to be a million polygons or vector 2D graphics to look good. This world may not be physically large, and some of the landscapes seem to be barren in some ways, but I think that adds to the world. When you first start the game, you begin in what seems like a normal home. There's a television, some cartography equipment, and a few other household amenities. But the second you step outside, and by outside I mean you just walk stage left with no transition to the open world, you are greeted with a world that doesn't seem to match your home at all. There are plenty of creatures and characters, all living primitive and in some ways magical lives. There are large beasts in the ocean, magic has spilled from a factory and decimated an entire city, and some are relaxing on a turtle. Oh, I should mention, you can walk on water. But this world is massive in cultural differences, and stories to be told in one-off sentences, said by each person you come across. Now, when I say cultures, I mean ones in the game. I'm not enough of a history buff to know if any of these are based off of real cultures or groups of people. Regardless, it brings great life into the game. The characters will usually just say one thing, ranging from a ghost talking about a terrible past to a family of children chowing down on some food. What I love about how this is told is that the text simply appears above their heads. It is stuck to them. The game never pauses, there is no continue button for you to push. You can completely ignore them if you wanted. Their text will pop up, they will still talk, but there isn't any annoying text sound effects as the letters scroll across the screen. It's just there, for you to enjoy or to skip. The audio is another piece that is not too complicated, very reserved in a way. You could call it lazy game making, the way all text doesn't have sound, how the audio is relatively basic in nature, but I would disagree. I think this fits the game extremely well, a quiet game for a quiet protagonist. The music smoothly transitions from one location to another. The only other sounds that you hear are your footsteps, which dynamically change depending on what you're stepping on, which I absolutely love in any game, and the sound effects that some animals or creatures may make. You do not need to have sound to play this game, and I think that's okay, and even great for these sorts of games. Now, this is all great, but what about the plot, you might be asking? Well, there is an objective in the game, if you so wish to complete it, but you don't have to. In fact, as you may have guessed by its quiet tones, the game never tells you to do anything. You could quite literally begin the game, then choose to pack up and end your day right as you step outside. Actually, I wonder if you could just end it in the house. Hold on. Okay, well, you can still walk outside and quit right at your front door. One objective you can have in the game, though it's not required, is to find all 12 of these sentient totems, or stone towers, all around the map. They all talk to you as you go along your journey, and you can hear when one is nearby by a rumbling sound. If you find all 12, a door in the corner of the map, or what seems to be the most advanced civilization, will open. Now, I did record what was in there, but I think I'm going to save that for myself. It was a great experience tracking down all the pieces. You know which ones you've found already, and how many are left at the temple in the corner, shown here. It allowed me to keep searching, and find more stories on my journey. A great addition to this game to keep me from stopping. I recommend you play this game, and see what's behind those closed doors. It is free to download and quick to play. The download link will be down below. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. I plan to do more like this. I want to find small games, play, and review them. Indie devs deserve a lot more credit, and I want to help them do that. Thank you.